So welcome to the Monday evening masterclass. Tonight we are going to talk about sinus issues and how we can address them from an Ayurvedic point of view, but also using some pranayama, which is going to be more of a yoga approach. So we've got a few different tools available. First of all, I want to just talk about a little bit, even in Ayurveda, we're always looking at a little bit of what's going on, how are the sinuses made up. And so when I was doing my research for this topic, we talk about the different cavities in the sinuses. So, you have all these different cavities and there's 5 on each side, and they are covered with a mucous membrane. And what the sinuses do is their chief function, their main purpose is to provide moisture for the nose and the nasal cavity, right? That's what it does. But the sinuses do drain into the nose, and also the sinuses help with our voice amplification. So that's why a lot of people who study voice, when they do vocal lessons, they learn how to breathe. They learn how to do diaphragmatic breath and breathe that way. But then you also have what they call your head voice. And it's the sinuses that are the location of what is the amplification of that head voice. So that's just a little interesting thing. But what happens is the sinuses can end up having some problems due to allergies and colds and infections. And so they get clogged up. And what that condition is excess kapha condition, which right now it's spring officially, and that is kapha season. It's when we should be doing a cleanse, but it's also when we should be addressing removal of kapha. For most people, there is a kapha buildup at this time of the year because we're coming out of winter time, which is an accumulation time. So one of the things that you can do to help not aggravate kapha, make the conditions of sinus problems worse, is you want to avoid cold drinks. You want to avoid cold temperatures, breezes, and dairy products, and also no smoking at all, because it complicates it. There are some definite herbal remedies, not remedies, but herbal concoctions that you can use that can help as a decongestant. So one of the simple ones, and this is one that I even knew before studying Ayurveda, which is you take fresh ginger and a teaspoon of honey and you mix it together in warm water and you drink that. You can drink it 2-3 times a day. And it's very, very helpful for decongestant. It's a natural decongestant. Also, Ayurveda has a really amazing formulation called Stita Palati. It's one of my favorite herbal blends that Ayurveda has. It's a traditional Ayurvedic formulation. And that is another thing that you can take, Stita Palati. And you can add a little bit of tricketu, which is another herb. You can add that in there as an added benefit. So those are things you can do. Also, doing neti or having nasal drops is helpful to drain the sinuses. So that's using the saline solution. And, usually when you purchase a neti pot, it'll give you directions on how to use it. Also, if you need something a little more powerful for a severe sinus infections, I'm just making sure I get everything right with my notes here. And you want to stay away from congestion and pain. You can take garlic and a garlic press. And what you do is you squeeze the garlic and you get some of the juice of the garlic. And then you take a few drops and you hold your head back and you drop a drop inside. It is intense. And for the most part, most people don't like it, but it works as far as clearing out the sinuses. And it's also, you can do it for severe sinus attacks. You can do it up to 3 times in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening, okay? So for sinus headaches, we typically have pastes, Ayurvedic pastes, that you put on the forehead, and that eases headache, pain. It's a little bit messy, I will tell you that. I have a lot of the pastes that I use, very beneficial, it works, but it is a little bit messy. So it's not like you could put it on your forehead and go to work. So if you want to know how to do the paste, it's like a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and you add a little bit of water to make it into a paste, and then you put that on the forehead. Okay, that's for sinus infections. But prevention is the best thing that you can do. Okay, so one of the things is cleanses help. You want to avoid dairy products like we already talked about. That means cheese, yogurt, ice cream. You want to avoid cold drinks, no cold drinks. We don't recommend cold drinks anyway in Ayurveda. It slows down metabolism, it slows down digestion. So we avoid those anyway. You avoid exposure to cold weather, breezes, and you also do not want to smoke anything, not just cigarettes. Once a day, if you do a little warm ghee, and we've already talked about this, after you do neti, you take the ghee and then you put it up into the nasal cavity. You could just snuff it up. And also using an eyedropper, you can use an eyedropper with the ghee, but just make sure the ghee is liquid form. Okay, so those are just some things that we can do for sinus issues. And we are going to be doing a technique tonight that is a yoga pranayama technique, and it's a bellows breath. That's what we're going to be doing as another remedy to help with respiratory issues. And it is a breath that I'll just give you the benefits really quick. It's a bellows breath, and it is a breath that awakens your life force. So it is a more stimulating breath. It reduces kapha. That means that I would not recommend that you do it at night before you go to bed. We are doing it right now. It is an evening practice, but we are going to do a nice relaxing stretch and calming of the body in the yoga practice after this. So I've got it figured out, but I'm telling you right now, do not do this breathing technique before you go to bed. So it awakens your life force. It removes excess mucus. It stimulates your lungs, your heart, and blood circulation. It oxygenates the blood. It increases the sympathetic nerves in the respiratory center to release carbon dioxide. It improves oxygen absorption, and that's also viscerally into the organs as well. It increases oxygen absorption. It massages the entire body, and it also helps with the nasal and sinus passages. It cleanses them. It builds resistance to colds and respiratory diseases such as asthma, sinusitis, bronchitis. It helps with arthritis, constipation, sciatica, physical and mental tension. It improves clarity, sluggishness. It helps to stimulate appetite. So if you have a low appetite, it will help that. It helps vitality. It helps the immune system functioning, and it improves intuition. It also removes emotional insecurities, sexual tension. It helps with obesity and the bile, right? So bile production. Okay, unless you've had your gallbladder removed, then you're out of luck. But those are all the benefits. And we're going to go ahead and do that breathing technique now. So you'll want to sit comfortably. Make sure you're sitting up straight. You can either sit like cross-legged in lotus, or make sure you're sitting in a chair. You want to also make sure your body, the spine is lifted, so you're not slouching at all. And what we're going to do is I will guide you through this technique. So I'm going to have you close your eyes. So close your eyes, sitting up tall, and we're slowly and deeply going to inhale through the nose. So this technique is always done just through the nose. And then breathe out quickly and forcefully on your exhale. So it's a slow, deep inhale. Without straining, you forcefully exhale. Okay. Then immediately after you exhale, just as forcefully you inhale. So it's So you do that 10 times, that's 1 round. And then pause, and now rest and wait for your breathing to return to normal. So let the breathing return to more normal, and you're going to feel invigorated after that. We're going to do it 1 more round, but you'll want to do it 3 rounds. And the speed can increase with the technique as you practice it. So just relaxing, letting your breath come back to normal. We're going to do that again. So nice, deep, slow inhale. And exhale out forcefully. Inhale forcefully. Exhale. Good, and then you rest. That was 10. Wait and let your breath return to normal. And then after that returns to normal, you'll do 1 more round on your own. Okay? Okay, so just resting now. And I'm going to go ahead and pause that. And we're going to move now into the next video, doing a Kapha reducing practice tonight. So it's another practice that will help support all of this respiratory health and also sinus health. Okay, so I'm going to pause that.